Hello and welcome to Coaching with Kaleah. Do you believe that once you have healed from narcissistic abuse, that you will no longer attract a narcissist? Well, I once believed that, but I realized that that's simply not true. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about why. Narcissists are attracted to beautiful, shiny people. They're attracted to the light. They're attracted to success. They're attracted to beauty. They're attracted to love. They're attracted to empathy. And so, of course, they're still going to be attracted to you if you have any of these qualities. These are the things that attracted the narcissist to you in the first place. So it's really not about the narcissist not being attracted to you anymore, and maybe even not about you not being attracted to the narcissist anymore. It's about not doing the dance anymore. So there's this dance that we do between empaths and narcissists. The empath is that sensitive person, that person that feels what other people are feeling, that is very self-aware and aware of their surroundings. There is a dance that commonly is done between the person that has a lot of empathy versus the person that has very little or no empathy. And as we get to know ourselves, as we do our own healing and get to know ourselves as sensitives, as empaths, then we no longer need to do that dance. We're onto it. We understand it. We understand what the signs of narcissism are. And when we spot that lack of empathy in that other person, it's a deal breaker. So we don't try to fix it. We don't try to rehabilitate that person. We don't try to change that person. It's a deal breaker. Empathy is important. And when we spot that lack of empathy, we have to be willing to say, no, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to do this dance. So the key is it's not that we don't attract the narcissist into our life. And it's not even that we're not attracted to a narcissist anymore, because sometimes narcissists present very well. They can be very good looking, very well dressed, very successful. They can come across as being really amazing people. And on the surface, perhaps that is true. But as you dig deeper, as you get to know them a little deeper and you start to see that lack of empathy, you start to see those little judgments, those little pings that narcissists are known for, you start to listen to yourself and go, wow, oh, that didn't feel very good. And so we become more aware and we simply don't do the dance. We have to learn in our healing journey to end relationships as quickly as we start them. There is nothing wrong with ending the relationship. And the reason people don't end the relationship is they want to believe something different than what's presenting itself. So we go into a type of denial that, oh no, that can't be true. Maybe he really is a good person. Maybe there really is a sensitive, empathic person inside. I just have to, stick around long enough. Maybe he can be rehabilitated. Maybe we can work it out. If it's at the beginning of a relationship, why would you even want to invest the effort? And it's usually because you have a certain illusion or belief about who this person is or who you would really like them to be. Maybe because the outer package looks good. Maybe because they look good on the outside. And maybe because they were very romantic and charming and kind of swept you off your feet. So it's up to us to stand strong, to stand in our power and to say no. And when we learn to say no, then the narcissist will not stay in our lives, and the damage will not be done. That damage is done because we ignore the signs, because we don't pay attention to what's actually happening. And as we begin to pay attention to what's happening, we don't end up in those same dynamics anymore. We cannot be afraid to end a relationship. This is a really important piece. If you start going into a relationship, if you start dating someone and you see the signs, find the courage right then and there to end that relationship, and not go to that place of, well, maybe it's me. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm too picky. Maybe I'm too particular. Maybe I am too this or too that. You might have already heard from that narcissistic person, but you've got to be really honest with yourself. You've got to know yourself and be able to take your own inventory, to know what your strengths are, to know what your weaknesses are, so that they can't be used against you. It's not likely that your strengths are going to be used against you, but it is likely that your weaknesses will be used against you. So the more you know your weaknesses, it's okay to have weaknesses, just know what they are. You know, your weakness might be that boyish charm, and that boyish charm just melts me every time. Know that that's a weakness, and be able to, when you're trying to break a relationship off because it's not feeling right and that person turns on the boyish charm, you have to be able to spot it and go, oh, it's the boyish charm, that's my weakness. I'm not going to allow that to stop me from doing what I know I need to do for myself. And this is self-love. Self-love is the most important part. It's the most important piece. That's what allows us to recover from narcissistic abuse in the first place, is that ability to truly be on our own team, to be on our own side, to love ourselves and to respect ourselves and to demand for ourselves what it is that we want, need, and desire. We don't want to be mistreated. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to have somebody that's always finding fault with us, that's always targeting our weaknesses. And this is what a narcissist will do. So self-love actually counteracts that. If we really are practicing self-love in our lives, we don't allow that. We don't allow people to mistreat us and stay. People are going to mistreat us, of course, that's life. People do mistreat us, but we don't stay in that dynamic. We leave. We use that mistreatment coming from that other person as a really good red flag that says, okay, it's time to go, it's time to walk, it's time to end this relationship. And this is usually going to happen just a few months in. If you start dating somebody, the true colors will really start to show themselves within a few months. So your job is to pay attention. And eventually, maybe the narcissist won't show up anymore. But remember that narcissists are attracted to your strength, to your beauty, to your success, to your love and empathy and everything that makes you the beautiful person that you are. Yes, they see that in you. That does not mean that they're capable of truly embracing you and loving you, because once they come in the door, once they get involved with you, it's natural for that narcissist to start to tear you down, to start to break you down, so that he or she has a sense of control and power, which is necessary. A narcissist can only feel superior if you're inferior. So they have to keep putting you in your place. And when you start to see someone doing that, starting to put you in your place. That's a big red flag. Pay attention. Love yourself enough to say no. Realize that those qualities that make you beautiful and special are qualities that almost anyone is going to appreciate. It's just that narcissists are a little quicker in the door. So if it seems like all you're getting is narcissists, they're just a bolder. They're a little quicker to come in the door. Not to say that non-narcissists can't be assertive, but they might be a little more cautious to jump in, where that narcissist in pursuit of supply is going to be a lot more aggressive. And, pay attention to that, because that's a red flag too. They want to seal the deal quickly. So if you're dating somebody that's trying to rush you, that wants to seal the deal quickly, that wants to get intimately involved really quickly, these are red flags. Pay attention. Somebody that truly loves you will know that you're worth the wait, will take their time. And if you say, I need to take this slow, they will honor you for that. They will respect you for that. They won't find fault with you. Now, I was dating somebody who, when I said, this is moving a little fast, I need to back off, I need to take it slow, basically came from the angle of, well, this is because you're wounded, this is because you're hurt, you're pushing me away because of your wounds. And it kind of got into my head like, well, yeah, that's probably true. Yes, I have been wounded, and maybe I am pushing him away. But as I went deeper in, I realized it was just out of my comfort zone. He was coming on way too fast. And the deeper in I went, the more signs I saw of that narcissistic personality. And I ended up cutting that relationship off. So you've got to pay attention to things like that. When somebody is basically targeting your weaknesses, saying things like, you're acting this way because you're wounded. Sometimes we do behave from our wounds. We act out from our wounds. But when we're asking for something that we need, like time, like space, like to take it slow, to not get involved right away, and that person accuses you of being afraid or wounded or pushing them away, really look at that. Sometimes, yes, that might be true, but only after a period of time of dating that person. Because anyone who has come from abuse is going to be cautious, and that's a good sign. You should be cautious. You should take your time. And a good, solid relationship is going to give you that time, that space, will allow for that foundation to be built. A relationship without a foundation is destined to collapse. That foundation is the initial time taken to get to know one another, to really get to know one another. And this can be the perfect time to screen out the narcissist, the abuser, people that you do not want to have a long-term relationship. So make that initial foundation building time the most important time. Don't try to rush it. I don't care if your biological clock's going off. I don't care if you're getting older. Whatever your reasons are, take the time to build the foundation. This is super important. And as you do this, you will weed out people that need to rush into a relationship. And that's a good sign. Weed those people out. Be willing to take your time, to stay connected to yourself, to not abandon yourself, to make your choices out of self-love, to stay aware, to pay attention. And when you notice red flags, don't make excuses. This is a good time to consider ending the relationship. A lot of relationships aren't going to last more than 4 or 5 months. It's what Ken Solon from the book Boomer's Guide to Finding Your True Love Online, I've been referring to his book, calls these fast relationships the rocket ride. You know, they last 4 or 5 months. They might be hot. They might come on strong and fast. You might get intimately involved right away. And then they burn out within the first 4 or 5 months because you start to see that there was no foundation. You start to see that it was all smoke and mirrors, that there wasn't any real substance there. And when you see that there's not really any substance, there's nothing left. And so your only choice is to move on. And it's okay that you move on. It's okay that you have a series of relationships that just last 4 or 5 months if you're using this time to screen out people that are not going to be well suited for you. But if we can take our time in the initial stages of a relationship to build the foundation, to build a solid, strong foundation, and you're with somebody that also wants to build a solid, strong foundation because they too want a lifelong partnership, not a quick rocket ride, that you have the substance for a healthy relationship. And isn't that what we're all really looking for, is a healthy, happy, harmonious, long-term relationship? This is only possible when we build a solid foundation first. So pay attention. You will perhaps from time to time attract a narcissistic person into your life when you are dating. Just know what to look for. Know what those signs are. Follow your gut. Pay attention. And practice self-love. Remember, it's okay for you to end the relationship when it doesn't feel good. Don't try to make this about you and something being wrong with you. When it doesn't feel good, it's a really good time to end that relationship and continue your search for somebody that also wants to build a solid foundation and a solid relationship based on love and mutual respect. You deserve nothing less. Thank you for listening. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Share if you know somebody else that would benefit from this video. And I really appreciate your support and taking the time to watch this video. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.